Hello and welcome. My name is Caro. I am a Peruvian visual artist. In case you're new here, I mainly paint plants and mushrooms, and in today's video I want to share with you about all things my favorite art supplies. For the past 5 or so years, I've been on a journey of making my art practice as sustainable as possible, so sharing with you all of those supplies, and also wanted to say, spoiler alert, my art practice is not completely sustainable. I am still on the journey and there's so much more that I want to change, but I am very happy with the changes that I've been doing, and I hope that some of these tips help you as well. Before we get into it, inviting you to give this video a thumbs up or leave a comment, or even pressing the share button helps creators like myself reach more people, and it really helps us boost our content so much. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. So let's get into it. I only paint with watercolors, and since 2020 I've been using the watercolor pan set by Case for Making. Part of sustainability for me means only using mineral and earth pigment watercolors that are handmade. So Case for Making, as far as I know, they don't sell a only natural pigment palette by itself, but I made this one my own. So I would choose each and every single pan until I had all the colors that I work with. You can see that I have a bunch of blues because I create my own greens a lot, so this is super helpful to be tailored for my own art taste. And I've also started to learn how to make my own watercolors, and as far as making my own watercolors, I also make them in little pans, and I am just starting. I love using my own, but I know I still have a long way to go until I can have the whole rainbow color palette made my own. But I say that I only work with dirt and rock because I don't include any living organisms, as usually plants or fungi would change colors with time, but rock and earth, dirt, don't change colors. So those are the type of watercolors that I use. And I also use white titanium watercolor. For my palettes, I used handmade ceramic palettes, and these ones here were handmade by my friend Aileen in her ceramic studio called Taller dos Ríos in Lima, Peru, where I'm from. And I custom ordered a few of these, as these are the ones that I use on my small in-person workshops. And last year I also got a bigger palette, also made out of ceramic, handmade by the brand called Sugar House Ceramics. I also use their brushes, which I'll show you in a bit. But this one I love because it's bigger, it's more fragile than the ones my friends in Taller dos Ríos made, so I need to be extra careful with this one. But it's beautiful because it lets me make a lot of colors at the same time. For paintbrushes, I have 2 main brands that I love. For my bigger brushes, I use the ones by the brand Sugar House Ceramics, the same as my palette. And these are brushes that they handpick. They are driftwood. For a few years they were only maple, but now it's different types of wood that they find. And most of them are amazing. The bristles are beautiful for watercolors. I love the thickness of the natural wood sticks, and I don't know, just painting with driftwood brushes gives my art a whole new level of connection to nature in my personal experience. Look at this one. This is just a wand, you know, this is out of Ollivanders for sure. And I only work with round brushes, but some of the driftwoods have weird shapes like this one, so this is definitely not the most comfortable to paint with. These I usually use for my backgrounds or very big areas in my paintings, but if you know my work, I do a lot of detail in my artwork, and for that, this brand doesn't have as small of a brushes as the ones that I use. So for those, I use Princeton brushes. And Princeton brushes are these teeny tiny brushes that help me do a lot of details in my work. Then again, the handles are made out of plastic, but I will show you right after these what I have as a solution for the plastic waste that I do because of these brushes. So I love these for all things detail in my artwork. For miniature brushes like this one, I usually use the 10/0 or the 20/0. If you know of a sustainable brand that makes these, please let me know, because I've been looking and I will keep looking, but for now I have a solution that involves private recycling. So let's go into that. Let's go into the private recycling solution that I have for my artwork. Before I continue sharing with you about my favorite art supplies, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I've been using Squarespace since 2018, and they are the virtual home of my online shop, my website, art portfolio, email campaigns, and so much more, and I could not recommend them enough. They have recently launched Squarespace Blueprint, which is an interactive design system for any Squarespace users or anyone looking to start a new website. They ask you some questions and help you design a very personalized website, which includes the most optimized SEO for your own shop and your own expertise. I've been loving this feature, and in case you're looking to open a new website, art portfolio, or online shop, Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you're ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. Alright, so this has been my recycling solution so far. This is a box from a brand called TerraCycle, and I've known about TerraCycle for years. They are a recycling brand. They are a private brand that recycles all things that cannot be usually recycled on curbside, like the toothpaste tubes or art supplies, the tubes from acrylics, the brushes once we're done using them. So they have different boxes. I was about to get their art supply box, but then I realized that I could also just invest a little bit more in getting one that is the all your waste box. So I can include all my art supply stuff, like the brushes, the empty acrylics, and empty watercolor tubes and whatnot, but I can also include stuff that would be categorized as office, like the cartridges from my printer. And just like for years I've been worried about what to do with my brush handles once I finish using them, the Princeton ones, the plastic Princeton ones. I've been wondering the same about the cartridges that I use for my printer, and as these are not recyclable and they have like this weird chips that come with them, I haven't tossed these cartridges since I got a printer back in 2019, I believe. So I've moved with these empty cartridges. There's a bunch here. So this box right now has empty cartridges, it has empty gouache containers, there's just a bunch of stuff. So as you can see, all the things that I put in there are small. They are just the cartridges, the brushes, and some empty containers that I have from when I used to use gouache and drawing ink and other things. So once I finish filling these up, which hopefully will be in a long time, I send this box back to TerraCycle, and then they will recycle all of these. I know that recycling is not the best solution out there. It would be better not to have to recycle things. Like the other brushes that I'm using, those are biodegradable. I can just, take out the aluminum part and then have them be composted by nature. But this is the best solution that I have found for cartridges and the plastic brushes so far. So if you know other ways, please let me know. The comments area is open, and all suggestions are always welcome because I'm learning. Now let's get into paper. For the last 10 years, I've been using the same type of paper, which is the Arches rolls. This is an Arches paper roll that is almost my size. I'm like 5'1", so this is pretty much 50 inches, and then on the other side it's, I believe, 72 yards. I think it might be even bigger, but it lasts forever. This last one I got on 2019, and I still have a long way to go. I believe it's 300 grams, so it lets me put a lot of layers and make big paintings, and I only use watercolor paper for all of my artwork. Love, love, love Arches and love their watercolor paper. I've been using these brand of sketchbooks for probably the last 15 years, and I think I will keep using them for the next years. These ones I truly love. The brand is called Handbook Journal, and I love them. They are watercolor paper. They are the perfect thickness that I need. They have some texture to them, but it's just a little texture. It also has a texture that looks very, very natural in comparison to some other journals that I've encountered. And it's truly amazing for watercolors because it's watercolor paper. But I truly, truly love them. I love the formats and the sizes they come in. And these ones are the biggest ones that I've used from them, but I've also tried their smaller sketchbooks. They have a beautiful 6x6 or 5x5 square sketchbook with a lot of more pages. They also have beautiful rectangle ones, and that's what I love the most, the formats that they have. And of course they have a cool little envelope on the back to, usually, this one I just started, but usually on the ones that I have worked on, I have leaves and stuff that I love to dry, like flowers or maybe letters or whatever, stickers. So I love these. They come with these cool little string sketchy thingy, and I think I'll stick to this brand forever because I truly love their sizes, paper, quality, all of it. There are two brands of pens that I use. So I use watercolors for all of my artwork, and once I finish doing the watercolors, I do some black outline with pens. And my favorite pens are reusable pens. My favorite ever brand is Rotring, and my second favorite ever brand is Koh-i-Noor. Koh-i-Noor is a little bit more affordable, sometimes a lot more affordable than Rotring, but sometimes these ones bleed out of the blue. And Rotring is super precise with always keeping a clean line. So the way that these pens work is you open them up, they have an empty cartridge, and here you place your ink, you shake it, you use it. The only downside, or just a warning that I find very important if you are looking to use these, is that as their tips are so tiny, it is easy for ink to get clogged in there, and then it dries up in there. So if this happens, then your pens may become unusable forever, and then you end up tossing a very expensive pen instead of getting a Micron made out of plastic. So in case you are new to using rapidographs, isographs, or any type of reusable pen with very thin tips, I would really suggest to clean them right after you use them. That's helped me so much in order to expand the lifetime of my pens, just by cleaning them after using them. Sometimes not every day, sometimes I do it every other day after using them. So that's why right now you see my cartridge is empty, they don't have any ink. After finishing using them, I've cleaned them, and now they're ready to go without having the inner parts of the pen be cluttered by dry ink. So this is definitely something I would keep in mind in case you want to switch to reusable technical pens. So as I was mentioning earlier, I use a lot of geometry in my paintings, a lot of rulers, and circular rulers have been one of my favorite for years. I have a bunch of these ones. They're super easy to take with me everywhere instead of taking my protractor that has a needle, so sometimes you cannot travel with it. But last year, one of my friends gifted me this Iris by Maker's Cabinet, and these has replaced my circular rulers because it's just one thingy that opens up, and here you have 1,000 circular rulers because you can make the specific custom size of circle that you want. And it's so practical, so aesthetic as well. I had seen this online a few times, but I thought I already have these, so I don't need anything new, and I feel that's the most sustainable thing we can do. Just use what we already have instead of tossing that and getting the sustainable swap, not only for artwork but all things in life. So love my Iris by Maker's Cabinet. And then the other two tools that are essential for my art practice are my compass and my protractor. I love this compass. There's nothing really special about it. I just love it because I have it and it does the job. I have some extensions for my compass, which I mentioned on my first favorites video. There's a bunch of stuff that is repeated because I've been in a long-term relationship with a lot of my art supplies. So if you want to learn more about extending and making bigger circles with compasses, check out that video. And lastly, protractor. This is actually not my favorite protractor. I've lost my favorite protractor, and I am determined to not buy a new one until I find it, even though I've lost it almost a year ago. My favorite protractor, which I cannot find, is one that looks like this, but has a little middle thingy that is so helpful to make lines around the half circle. So if you're in the market for a protractor, I would suggest getting the one that has the middle thingy. That helps you make lines and makes your life easier instead of you having to get these and then another ruler and making sure it doesn't move. So that's my favorite one, but I lost it, so I cannot show it to you. And lastly, let's go into some sparkly things that I use that I believe are not sustainable at all, but I already have them. So these are powder gouache. 10 years ago, I was gifted these by the brand. They wanted me to try out their goodies because they knew I worked with, at the time, only black ink and gold. I used to use Winsor & Newton's gold ink, which I still have some, so I'm definitely going to still include it in some of my paintings. But these is just powder. It's powder gouache that has glitter, and I don't really know where they get their mica or their glitter from, but I've had them for 10 years before I even started my sustainability journey in art and life. So I got these, and I got a few that are different shades: copper, bronze, gold. It's not real gold, but you know what I mean, the color of gold. Back in 2021, I was gifted these handmade glittery watercolors. They are from the brand Blue Pine Arts, and I love them. I believe this will be the swap that I make once I finish my gouache and the Winsor & Newton ink that I was just talking to you about, because I've tried these ones. I specifically love their copper, their gold. Their colors are beautiful. They're all glittery. As Tripti, the owner, knows that I love to use glittery watercolors in my art. They're handmade, and they certify that their mica is sustainably harvested, and mica's business can be a very dark business, specifically in India. So Trupti, the owner, actually also makes a lot of video sharing education online, so I'm linking all of that in this video's description. But these I've loved, and besides trying out these glittery watercolors, I've also tried out their regular other handmade all natural pigment watercolors, and they're amazing. So these, I believe, is my sustainable swap that I'll make once I finish the ones that I have, because as I was saying, I think it's important to use what we have because it's already here. So I am linking all the art supplies that I listed here on this video's description. Feel free to check them out if that's something that you're looking for. If there's any questions that you have that I have the answer to, feel free to ask them away, or even ask them away. Maybe I don't have the answer, but someone else watching this video does. I feel it would be beautiful for us to build a community of creators that are looking to make their art practice more sustainable. And as I mentioned at first, I know that a lot of these things could be better. I don't really know what's like the fair trade of employees with the sketchbooks that I use, or I already have these, so I'm going to use it, you know, or I wish I wouldn't have to use the plastic handle brushes even though I'm recycling them. I know they are not 100% the best option out there. So I feel that if you are on this journey also learning how to be grateful and graceful with yourself while you keep learning, I'm trying to tell that myself. And thank you once again, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. I will see you some other time. Bye!